As part of the 2020 to 2021 federal budget, the government announced some superannuation reforms, specifically the Your Future, YourSuper bill, which has now passed through Parliament and is now part of the law. So in this video, I'm going to be going over some of the key changes and how it may impact you and your superannuation. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Please consult a professional and do your own research. It's also very, very important to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. On the 1st of July 2021, the superannuation guarantee has increased from 9.5% to 10%, and it's set to increase by 0.5% every financial year until hitting 12% in FY 25/26. If you didn't know, the superannuation guarantee is the amount of super that your employer has to pay by law on top of your salary or wages. Now for most people, this is good news, but some companies have decided to be a little bit cheeky and essentially pass on this 0.5% increase to their employees by reducing their base pay by the same amount. It's important to note that this only applies to employees if their employment contract says that super is included in their total package and not on top of their salary or wages. For employees who find themselves in this situation, it is completely legal for their boss to take that money out of their base pay as long as the worker's salary or wages doesn't drop below the minimum permitted wage stated in their award or employment contract. On a more positive note, a recent study by Colonial First State found that, hypothetically speaking, if someone was 35 years old with a $100,000 salary and let's say they had a super balance of $100,000, they would be $86,000 better off in retirement thanks to this new increase. From the 1st of November 2021, when an employee starts a new job but doesn't nominate a super fund for their contributions to be put in, their employer is required now by law to make contributions to the existing super fund if they have one. This change is being referred to as stapling because the fund will be stapled to you, following you from job to job. The goal of this reform is to reduce the number of people with multiple super accounts. Having multiple super accounts means you are paying multiple fees, and this can really eat away at your retirement savings. Essentially, stapling changes the default fund from one that is nominated by your employer to the fund that an employee already has. It's important to note that an employee can always choose which superannuation fund that they want their contributions to be paid in, which means that they can switch from the existing one to a new one. Now, not everyone is happy with this change, with both Labour and industry super funds warning that some people might find themselves stapled to underperforming funds and not realise it. The government has released a new online super comparison tool in order to provide more transparency to Aussies when it comes to super funds. The YourSuper comparison tool is being run by the Australian Tax Office, the ATO, and it's currently live. I'll leave a link in the description box down below. Right now, this tool displays a table of 80 MySuper products ranked by fees and net returns, which will be updated quarterly. It also allows you to select and compare in more detail up to 4 MySuper products at a time, and there's also the ability to show where your current super accounts rank compared to the other MySuper products. But in order to do so, you will need to access a personalized version of the comparison tool through the MyGov portal. And there's also links to help you consolidate your super accounts if you have more than one. And from September 2021, the tool will actually show the annual performance of each super fund as assessed by APRA, the Australian Prudential Regulatory Authority. Until then, all the funds will show as not assessed in the investment performance column. So I use this tool to compare my current super fund, which is Australian Super, with 3 other well-known industry super funds. And I'm glad to say that Australian Super is performing incredibly well and has much lower fees. By the way, if you want to learn about the difference between industry and retail super funds, make sure to check out this video I made. I'll leave a link in the description box down below and at the end of this video. Another important feature of the Your Future, YourSuper reforms is that super funds will now face annual performance tests conducted by the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority APRA. So from July 1, my super products will be subject to an annual performance test, and if a fund fails its test, then it has to inform its members of its underperformance by October 1, as well as providing them with the necessary tools to switch to a different fund. The performance will actually be measured over 8 years, so APRA will be looking at the longer term trend and not just the most recent year. You'll be able to see which funds are underperforming by looking at the YourSuper comparison tool, which I mentioned earlier. Any funds that fail 2 consecutive annual performance tests won't be permitted to accept new members until their performance improves. The first performance review is due by October 2021, so keep an eye out on any emails from your super fund in October in case they are underperforming. On the 1st of July 2021, the concessional superannuation contribution cap has increased from $25,000 to $27,500, while the non-concessional contributions cap has increased from $100,000 to $110,000. I know this might be a little bit confusing, so make sure you check out my beginner's guide to superannuation to learn more about super contribution caps. Link down below and at the end of this video. I also have a salary sacrificing video which you might find interesting, link also down below. Before we wrap up, there were some additional changes to superannuation that were announced as part of the federal budget but haven't been legislated into law. So from the 1st of July 2022, the maximum withdrawal for the First Home Super Saver scheme will increase from $30,000 to $50,000. Also from the 1st of July 2022, the eligibility age for the downsizer scheme will decrease from 65 years old to 60 years old. The downsizer scheme allows eligible people who sell their homes to make a one-off $300,000 contribution to their super, and it will be outside the usual concessional or tax regulations. Couples can contribute $300,000 each. And lastly, also from the 1st of July 2022, the $450 monthly threshold for superannuation contributions will be removed. This change means that employers are now required to pay the superannuation guarantee on the wages of employees earning less than $450 per month. As always, thank you for watching, liking and subscribing. If you haven't checked your super account for a while, take this video as a reminder to do so. Log in and have a look at your balance and make sure that your employer has been paying you correctly. As always, an important disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor, this is not financial advice. This video and my channel is for general information only. As with anything in life, you should do your own due diligence and seek independent advice.